death is coming for them. Tonight. Tell them Eric Draven sends his regards.
Thanks for tuning in. This is Optibotimus with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the new Hot Toys 1/6 scale Eric Draven from The Crow. Now, as you can see, this is the Sideshow Collectibles exclusive version, but we'll touch on that here in a little bit. Now, me being from the Detroit area, The Crow was a movie that I absolutely loved growing up. There's a thing in Michigan, the Detroit area specifically, that's called Devil's Night, and that's when this movie takes place. Devil's Night is the night before Halloween that basically all heck breaks loose. It's essentially a citywide party, and there's a lot of, well, mostly violence and things like that happens. And like I said, that's the backstage, or the background for this movie. During that time, that's when Eric Draven and his fiance Shelly get murdered. He comes back by the power of the Crow and extracts revenge on his killers. For some reason, just because it's set in Michigan, it's automatically cooler for me. Same thing with RoboCop, because it took place in Detroit. But here you have the packaging for it. As I said, this is the Sideshow version, so you do have that sticker right there. Then you got the really cool image of Eric coming forward towards the front of the box. You got a real nice image showing the logo. Come around here to the side. There is nothing, but you can, I don't know how well that's good. Oh, you can actually sort of see that. There is a texture on the box that is really very nice and definitely feels like a collectible and adult collectible sort of image, but really very cool. Come around here to the back, you have the cast and crew responsible for making this. And then it is just a regular, oh, and then on the top, it says The Crow with the logo. It is just a shoebox sort of package, so getting that to slide open. And when you open it, you do have this really cool insert. You got the figure and all the accessories here in the background, but this is a really cool extra piece. In the movie, Eric's actually murdered by being thrown out of the window of his upper loft apartment. And one thing that's cool, you got a very nice broken glass sort of image here. You can't put your hand through there. And then you got red like there's blood on it. It's really cool. And then on the back here, you have a nice like red image up here, and then it fades down to black. So just by itself, this is almost a cool accessory and display piece, despite the fact that I don't think they initially intended it for it to be like that. It's still a very nice homage to how he was actually killed in the movie. And if you wanted to, and I'll show this off in the review, you can display him behind the glass, kind of looking through, giving a very creepy look. Now, as I said, all the other accessories are right in here. You do have the Crow that he comes with, his guitar. The Sideshow exclusive also gives you an extra accessory, that being the weather vane, which he used at the end of the movie. But again, we'll touch on that here in a little bit. And it comes with a couple extra hands. Obviously, the figure's not there because I don't want to spoil it for you. So, yeah, like I said, really very cool packaging. That's something I really dig. But that is about it for the packaging. So without further ado, let's get this guy open and see how cool he actually is. All right, guys, so here we have the Crow open up and out of its packaging. And as I said, utilizing part of the actual packaging, you can really create an extra accessory in a wonderful looking display. Just having him stand through there really nicely recreates a scene in the movie where he approaches the window, stares out it, and gets a feeling of what it was like just right before he was about to die. Now, you don't have to use that, but when you take it away, this is what you have. Now, starting out first, as usual, we're going to take a look at his accessories. Now, starting out first, he does come with a total of 3 pairs of hands. He's got a couple on him right now that are just open hands, and you'll see that here in a bit. But he also has a pair of closed fists, and as you can see, he does have the nicely molded straps that he has throughout the movie itself. That is accurate to how it looks in the movie. In addition to that, he has a pair that are a little bit more open that you can use to have him hold things like the weather vane or even the guitar, although it's a little bit more difficult, but they are a little bit pliable. So you can get some given them to kind of reach them around the actual guitar, and you do want to be careful because this does have strings, but you can get them holding it just like so, getting those off to the side. So you do get those hands. You also do, like I said, get his guitar. It also does come with this nice leather strap that just connects to a little bit that sticks out here as well as here. Now, one thing, and I'm not 100% sure, I have seen a couple other people talk about this, and I went back and I watched the movie, and it's kind of hard to see. You can tell mostly from the back when he's playing the guitar, but this bit right here, and I'm not a very musical person, so I couldn't tell you what this is actually called, but this looks different than what we have in the actual movie. So a lot of people have speculated that this isn't the right kind of guitar that he used in the film. For me, yes, it would be nice to have a little bit more accurate of a representation of the guitar that he used, but I'm glad that we got the guitar. It is a connection from his previous life to the life that he has now. So this is a wonderful piece to have. The actual strings on here are just, let's say like a fish line or so. It's sort of hard to see. You can kind of make it out. Zooming in as best as I can and keeping it focused. You can see the strings. They go from the bottom all the way up to the top. So you do have that wonderful touch. You do probably want to be careful with that because I don't know, again, how sturdy that is. So do be careful with it. But absolutely gorgeous representation of a guitar nonetheless. You have all the things that you would expect on it. And like I said, I am not a musical person at all, so I can't tell you what any of this stuff is. The most musical I've ever been was I played Guitar Hero, but you do have a very nice guitar, I think, here. Now, sticking with the accessories that come with all versions, you do get the crow. It is a static piece, but it is nicely molded in this open wing mode. It's really gorgeous looking. Now, it's not really a flight sort of mode or a position because the legs would be up further, but this is simply stunning. I mean, the sculpt on here alone is exquisite, and I hope you guys can really make that out. It's hard to keep my thing in focus, but it's gorgeous. All the individual feathers are there and nicely represented. It does have a very nice dark eye coloring on here, which zooming in you can see that you got a little bit of a jewel sort of eye right there, which looks amazing. Gives some really cool depth to this character, really. And I do say character because this is a very essential character to the movie. This is what brought him back. This is his spirit guide almost. And as we watch the movie, we see that the only way that you can actually hurt Eric is if you hurt this crow. So absolutely gorgeous. He does have a very unfortunate position here on the back of him that connects to his display stand. You can see it does have a very nice, just oval sort of base. And then you have this very nice clear pillar, which nicely replicates a little bit more of a flight kind of pose. And then you just come here and you put this in his butt and wedge that in there. And now you can have a very nice flying look with the crow, and just having that there just really nicely completes that sort of look. And trying to get it to actually stand decently there. I mean, it wants to roll over, so there, let's try it that way. I mean, that looks really very cool, and like I said, is essential to this character. And it needs to be here. It really does. So the fact that they include it, or thought to include it, absolutely phenomenal. Now, the other accessories that you get, if you get it through Sideshow Collectibles, as I said, it is exclusive to them, is this weather vane. At the end of the movie, this is what he used to defend himself. I forgot the bad guy's name, but he pulled out some samurai swords. Eric busted this off the top of the church, and this is what he used to defend himself. And this is really very nice. You can see an absolute gorgeous, intricate design on here, which really does have a very church-like to it, or likeness to it. Got a very pointy edge. You can see it is a little bit wobbly, and now the camera wants to focus behind me, but you can see the handle right here. So, as I said, if you get this through Sideshow Collectibles, this piece is automatically included. And it's an absolute wonderful accessory to have because it is a weapon for him to use. And since he doesn't come with any guns, this is the only thing that you can really have to display him with in order to defend himself. And here we come to Eric Draven himself, and this figure is absolutely stunning. Some people have criticized the I guess, open mouth look. Zooming in so that you can get a real good appreciation for it, I don't think it is all that bad. The likeness is absolutely spot on, in my opinion. The smile is I have a little bit of a, I guess, nostalgia for it, because in the movie, a lot of times he was very joking and smiled a great deal. And this is a wonderful representation of that. Now, in a lot of my Hot Toy figures, I don't necessarily like them having expressions on their face. I more or less prefer just the blank, kind of generic look, but this really does work for me. One thing that you're seeing is an incredible amount of detail in the eyes. They just have this look to them, and then coming around here to the hair as well, you can see that it is nicely layered here, and you get a real cool effect going, giving it a very wet look. And then, like I said, those eyes just really scream for a pose similar to this, where he's got his head down and he's looking up at you. It's just really incredible. Now, one other kind of accessory that he comes with, he does come with this jacket. In the movie, he got this from Tintin after he killed him, basically. And you can create two different looks. You can have this look, or you can remove it and have a more the end of the movie sort of look. Best way to get that is go ahead, remove these. Here, take this off. Take the fists or the hands out, whatever hands that you have in there, and you're just going to slide this down and getting that all the way over his arms. And as I said, removing it gives you a completely different look for this guy. One that we saw more in the very beginning, right when he came back, and towards the end when he wasn't wearing the jacket anymore. Now, one thing that I will say is the tailoring is phenomenal. There are some parts on here that are not removable, such as the wrist bits right here, like the tape that he has around his forearms, as well as around the actual waist area. You can't remove it, so don't try doing it. It's glued down. I guess customizers and things like that could remove it if they really wanted to, but it's meant to look like this, so I'm fine leaving it like this. But one thing that I am noticing is that he does have a very thin frame to him, almost too thin looking. I mean, you come around here to the back, you can really see what I'm talking about. Now, Eric was a very thin character, and I don't think it looks too bad, but I think it's a little bit too thin. Just the body type just is a little bit off. So leaving the jacket on fills him out a little bit more and gives a much more full look to the actual character. But leaving the jacket off to take a look at his articulation, the head down here at the shoulder is on a bit of a ball joint, so you get a nice range of motion. It does rotate left and right. I wish it had two joints, because when you lower his head down, it's weird looking. I wish there was an extra ball joint or something to get more of a range of motion with it, but that's not too bad. The arms move forward and back. They move in and out. They rotate at the upper part of the bicep. They have two joints here at the elbow that you can see. He rotates. Let's see. Does he? No, he doesn't rotate there. He rotates at the wrist. He's got the forward and back. He's got two joints here in the torso. You got the upper ab crunch right below his pecs, and that's a bit of a ball joint itself. This lower section down here at the waist is also on a ball joint. You got hips that move forward and back, but not really too far back. That's about as far back as they go, but that's a fairly normal humanoid range of motion. It doesn't really go back that far. Moves in and out. He's got two joints here at the knee, and then you can come down here and you can see that the pants are almost a little bit too short, or he doesn't have any socks, but well, maybe you can't see it because it's not too bright down there. But the ankles move forward and back, and they pivot. One thing that's weird, the way that the boots are, you got the tongue that hangs down. It kind of makes him want to flop a little bit forward. That could just be a little bit of looseness on the actual joint itself. It's not too bad, but I wish it was a little bit tighter. One thing that I absolutely love is he does come with his engagement ring. As you can see, it is just on this little piece of string, but he wears it around his neck very nicely. Now, after he killed Tintin, he found out that he actually pawned the engagement ring that he took after they killed Eric and Shelly. Once Eric came back, as I said, he killed Tintin, but before he did that, he found out that Tintin pawned it. So Eric went back to that pawn shop and was able to get the ring back. And I love the fact that they thought to include that. It's a wonderful touch and just really helps bring home the overall, the human element to this character. Now for me, The Crow was a film that I absolutely loved as a kid. And Eric Draven was a phenomenal character. It's such a shame that we had to lose Brandon Lee during the filming of the Crow movie. But much like we've seen with other franchises and films where an actor dies in it, it almost elevates the film itself and makes it much more, or resonate more with people that watch it. much like with what happened when Heath Ledger died with The Dark Knight. The Crow was a superhero movie. It was a revenge movie, but beyond all that, it was a love story, and how this soul could not rest until him and his beloved fiance's death was avenged. For me, this is just a film that really did hit cult, classic status almost instantly. And honestly, really surprised me when I saw that Hot Toys was going to make this. There really isn't a reason for them to make it, but they did, and they did a phenomenal job. And this piece is an outstanding nod to the person that played Eric Draven. And if you are a fan of the movie, this is a piece that you absolutely will want to have in your collection. Now, if this figure means anything to you like it does me, go ahead and click on the link down in the video description. You'll go to Sideshow Collectibles where you can pick this guy up and add him to your collection today. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Keep in touch with me. Find out recent purchases as well as all upcoming video reviews all at facebook.com/teambotimus and by following me over on Twitter at twitter.com/Optibotimus. Also, don't forget to check out my new website at optibotimusreviews.com. And if you like this review, don't forget to please rate, subscribe, and share this video. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.